Why are you here? You shouldn't be here. The movie's out right now, still in theaters, right? And like, you're clicking on this review just to see on how to... Don't watch the review. Go and watch the movie yourself. See the movie for yourself. Right? Go. Just go. I am sorry for that little outburst right there. First off, Zinfellon reporting in. Welcome to another episode of Analysis. It has been a while since I have seen a movie that I would highly recommend. Okay, correction, I've actually saw Tomorrowland just a week prior. Excluding that, it's been a while since I've seen a movie that was highly anticipated and already had a string of things that were disappointments. Jurassic Parks 2 and 3. And by disappointments, I mean, I'm just talking about, like that it doesn't hold up onto the same high level of the first, and still, like, being kind of a little poor by itself, or just misstepped opportunities. Just go and, see other reviews on that for what I mean, if you have no clue. I'm doing this review while the movie's still out in theaters, alright? It came out just this weekend. I have been anticipating this movie ever since I saw its teaser trailer. First off, I want to say, finally! Jurassic Park has finally had a worthwhile sequel, or at least a sequel that is just done so beautifully. Alright, within the last year, I saw at least the other two at least once each. Lost World came off as a red shirt movie, and also a movie that just, well, tried to be something oh so much more, but came off trying too hard and also being a PETA movie. Look, I'm not against animal rights or anything, but in Lost World, they did not do it the right way. I mean, like, it just seemed like, it wasn't a good movie for animal rights to have its point. I mean, like, with Lost World. I mean, like, because, like, yeah, yes, the dinosaurs, yes, the dinosaurs can live, and will find their own way of living, and won't need humans to help them, okay? Yes, I can agree with that much, but with how they kind of do it in that movie, and also with some of the characters, it's just a little bit of a bore, and I'm not a fan of the female lead because of what kind of relationship is she in with Goldblum. And Lost World 3, well, we didn't need it. It was okay, alright? It's just, like, worth a watch. I don't know, like, it's not the same level as the first one, obviously. Also, like, if you were to have a trilogy sort of formula with something, third one is supposed to be good. And this one, and JP3 just didn't really bring very much to itself. It just came on the same level as Jurassic Park 2. But like I said at the beginning, when they announced and revealed a teaser trailer for Jurassic World, it was enough of getting hype. With the fourth movie, what they tried doing compared to what the second or third movie was, is that this one, the park was open. That was something that we didn't think we would see. I mean, yes, we weren't asking for a Jurassic Park sequel. I really don't think we were at this point. But with the sequel, well, they gave us something, like a little bit of some new stuff. And like I said, the park is open. The park wasn't open before. Before, it was just like, in pre-productions, and yeah, they had some stuff running, such as like, food supplies in, and they already have the dinosaurs made. And disaster struck, only because of this one guy who was getting paid more from another rival company of whatever. But in this movie, yeah, the park was open. They were showing facilities that were being used that that probably would have been a thing in the first movie, alright? Like, how would the customers or the guests enjoy the park and seeing all the dinosaurs and everything, and would it actually be a success? Well, obviously it would be, because dinosaurs, hello! Now, okay, right now I'm not recalling if it was in the teaser or if it was in a later trailer, but The thing is that now, okay, my only gripe that I had before the movie even premiered was just only the fact that the thing that would be giving that would be giving the movie its plot was just a corporate being dumbasses kind of cliche. I'm not going to go and list off any example because this one pretty much gives out its example, okay? We're making lots of money, but how can we make more money? Why don't we just take 2 and 2 together and make something bigger and new? I can understand people trying to, come up with ways on making new things just to get more money, like with amusement parks, taking down old attractions and then making an entirely new attraction just for like, oh, hey, new ride, let's see if it's any good, or just we're gonna make this new roller coaster to try to bring in more teens into the park. That's the usual thing that you do for an amusement park and other familiar attractions. But at a place like this, like Jurassic World, when your main attraction, your sole attraction, are dinosaurs, live dinosaurs, and there's nowhere else to go for live dinosaurs, I think you're pretty set, and you don't need to do what they did in this movie, which, as we know from the trailers, they spliced multiple dinosaurs, undisclosed, and created a new dinosaur that never existed before. Like I said, that is a dumb corporate move. It's kind of like on how, how some people would argue about the one villain guy instead of the Michael Bay's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, where the guy just says, and I'm going to save people, and they're going to pay me, and I'm going to be rich. Well, stupid rich. It's like that what they're trying to do here. That was my only disappointment, okay? I still had some feeling that they were trying to take care with this movie, right? Whereas in 2 and 3, those movies, well, didn't have any emotion or whatever. And of course, from the trailers, we got, the idea that, oh, these 2 kids are somehow going to be incorporated into the story, but we don't know how yet. They're just visitors as far as we know. And by no means having any connection with Chris Pratt and the business lady. Oh, and, by the way, Chris Pratt, he's building his army. He's building his cinema army, just like others before him. Okay, he's, alright, he's done 3 movies, I think. Chris Pratt, keep going, just keep going, okay? You've already done 3 excellent, grade A movies. Bring us more, okay? Bring us more. You're already becoming a household name with just those 3 alone. Keep up the good work. Okay, now with that out of the way, unlike with some arguments that was made in the first movie from Jeff Goldblum and others, but mainly Goldblum, I guess. Yes, the dinosaurs got loose, containment became a chaotic chore, and, well, as we previously thought, impossible to do. But in this movie, well, actually it seemed to do what actually the original movie was trying to do, and by original movie, I mean like what that plot was originally doing before the big guy blew all the power. And what Jurassic Park was supposed to be, was what Jurassic Park was trying to do. Trying to have an attraction with animals. And yeah, actually, in retrospect, yeah, it actually would have worked. It actually could have been done and, had it been successful. The only problem was, of course, it's just, somebody just did a sabotage and caused problems from there on that, all dinosaurs got loose. But after seeing this movie and thinking to myself, why hasn't the same thing happened with regular zoos? And really, the only reason why the disaster and an outbreak is happening that happened in the first Jurassic Park is simply only because bigger, oversized carnivores. That's the major big problem, and of course, the main killer. Now, this movie has barely been out for a week at this time of this recording. Maybe some people will be arguing, that there's not too many new things in this movie compared to, the other movies. And what is new is a little, maybe only a little bit here and there and far in between. I disagree, because, in my opinion, in this movie, I enjoyed it from point A to point Z. Now, yes, like I said, I knew the idea that it was an idiot corporate cliche was going to be the plot point of this, of making everything go to shit. But before seeing the movie, of course, I knew that, because it's Jurassic Park, the theme is dinosaurs are both beautiful, but uncontrollable chaos, and obviously in this point, if the park is in running order, we're going to need something to bring in that chaos. So of course, although I didn't really like it, because on the logic side, it was dumb, it was at least something that gave us a plot point to go and have a story, rather than just a cut of life. So, of course, I had to swallow that pill. Going in this movie, I actually got more than I expected. Now, I'm not gonna spoil everything, but it's more than just a hybrid dinosaur that got loose and is more deadly than anything that ever existed before it. Throughout this movie, you can see bits here and there showing a few references towards the last two movies. However, with this movie, on how it was presented, I personally feel as though that movies 2 and 3 just happened. Or rather, that we still could have gotten Jurassic World without even watching 2 and 3. By watching 2 and 3, well, actually more of 2, we would actually know who InGen is. A corporate that funded Jurassic Park, and in this movie also Jurassic World. With that alone, you can probably expect, well, the intentions on this one guy, even though this one guy who's representing InGen, and is kind of a little thorn in Chris Pratt's character's foot. Now, this guy has, he has the right idea, but really, there are people who do have the right idea, but for dumb reasonings, saying oh, this song is awesome, I should overexploit the song, and it'll be popular still. No, by ever overexploiting, you could get it, the song could become annoying. And this guy, well, as you probably saw from certain trailers, Chris Pratt's character is a raptor trainer. That's cool. Yeah, nothing against that. I mean, they are, raptors were established by the third movie. Well, more definitive by the third movie. But, yeah, since the first, raptors had been established to be intelligent. So, unlike your average reptilian-type creatures, or animals, as far as I'm concerned, I really don't think you would actually be able to train them. But training raptors, well, that's an interesting concept. I mean, we have zookeepers training dolphins all the time. So, but this InGen representative wants to use raptors for, well, militia purposes, Oh, instead of humans, well, oh boy, that's just I mean, okay, sure, look, the idea is kind of cool if you're going to be using that for, a video game or a fantasy story idea, I guess. But in real life, it's really questionable. And, actually, throughout the entire film, Chris Pratt's character does point out that you could try, but that doesn't mean the idea will work, because it's kind of just pretty much just... Well, actually, ironically, there was a trailer for Max right before the movie started playing, and... Well, like that. Well, because of that, I'm thinking, oh, this guy's thinking just like using raptors, just like military dogs. And Chris Pratt is pointing out that even though you could train a raptor to work for the military, it's still alive, and it's still a self-thinking animal. And you can pretty much just put on the same properties as a regular military dog, just bigger, a carnivore, and can kill you easily by itself. Which leads into my next segue about this movie, and it's similar kind of idea with the first movie, at the very least, that I will be referring to. Where in the first movie, it's talking about, nature will find a way. You can still do science mumbo-jumbo, but nature will have a way of not being able to be controlled or whatnot. And, main point, nature will find a way, even with science. The message around here that they're trying to portray is that if you can treat something as a robot or as an item, whether a modern-day animal, like a dog or a lion, or if, like this movie's getting along to, previously extinct animal, dinosaurs, it is still living and breathing, and is in no way should be treated as different from yourself? Let me try that again. The dinosaurs are living and breathing creatures that are alive and self-thinking. You shouldn't be treating it as an item, or that it can be controlled the way you want it. I mean, come on, we get mad at people who just leave a dog in a hot, steamed up car in the middle of summer, okay? We get pissed off at those kind of people, and that's actually part of the issue, along with this Indominus Rex, which is the name of our new hybrid dinosaur. And then later, of course, once it escapes through a means I'm not going to exploit, it does seem to have a little bit of, a taste for blood. And not the kind of blood that would be the traditional for a carnivore. Please, just watch the movie and you'll see what I mean by that. But, as we were trying to proceed into, what can we talk about next? Ooh, the characters! None of them were annoying! As I said at the beginning, the kids were, obviously going to be a type of plot point or something of note for this movie. Actually, it turns out, they are the nephews of the leading lady for this movie. She's not the owner, which is actually what I thought she was going to be. the new owner, who actually is supposed to be the equivalent of John Hammond in this movie, or John Hammond's successor, this guy's likable. This guy, he does what is needed. Okay? I'm pointing that out. He does what is needed. You will see what I mean. But yeah, this corporate lady, I think her name was Claire in the movie. To me, she's kind of new. And by that, I mean an aunt that is a workaholic and distant from kid relatives. To me, that's new, alright? Like, I have not seen that before. I mean, I've seen the plot idea done before. In Hook, Robin Williams, he's, the workaholic father who doesn't try to be distant from his kids, but, he's, too busy to do stuff with his kids. Or same thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way. He's working all the time and, he has not making the time for his own kid. Or Eddie Murphy in Haunted House. Workaholic and earning that bacon for his family, but not enough time for family, and I've been watching too much Nostalgia Critic. But yeah, okay, so yeah, usually it's the over workaholic father or mother. But this is actually the first time that I saw it was an aunt that was supposed to that was supposed to establish a connection with her kids. I mean, her nephews. And like I said before, Chris... Now, okay, watching Sibling Rivalry, I have to say that I didn't think about this during the movie, but unlike the first 3 movies, which, in retrospect, yeah, they all had kids, and they had to have an adult figure try to connect with the kids. And this movie is no different, it does the same thing. In this movie, I think it actually makes the connection of adult to kid more convincing than even the first one. I mean, really, in the first movie, the 2 kids are just kind of there, and Dr. Grant, he doesn't have, any want for kids, and this is going by movie, not the book. By the end of the film, he's just oh, I'm okay with kids, alright? I took care of them, I kept them safe, I can have kids. It's kind of like that, I guess. And in the second movie, Jeff Goldblum and his daughter, adoptive daughter, I don't know the relationship between Goldblum and the girl. They're not too connected. Actually, from what I recall on seeing the movie, Goldblum and the girl never become closer. He does take care of her, but I don't feel convinced that they became closer. And the one moment that the girl had was really just only like, oh, I'm gonna distract this raptor and protect my dad's girlfriend. So yeah, she had a moment, but it wasn't really like a culmination type of moment. It was just something that probably could have happened even if there was already an established connection that she already had with her dad of Goldblum. And the third film, well, there was no distance from the kid, really. It's just only like the parents that had a disconnection and needed to reconnect, so... But this film, yes! The kid element that some people say that is unnecessary for some films actually worked in this film. Because unlike the other films, this film had me convinced that the aunt actually did care for her nephews, and that the nephews... I'm just going to say that, I feel like that there was an established connection, okay? We'll just leave it at that. And something else that I feel like that the first one didn't even do was that the two nephews, or brothers, sorry, in this movie you can see that the brothers are not really as close. I mean, the older brother starts warming up the things. But at the beginning, you don't really think that they're all that close. By the end of the film, due to the Indominus Rex, the older brother actually tries to show that he would be there for his little brother, which is something an older brother should do. I try to do the same thing for my little brothers. Now, 2 and 3 did only have one kid per movie, but the first movie actually did have a sibling complex. So, of course, 2 kids. Never once in that movie did the girl try to show that she would be there for her brother, or the little brother would be there for his sister. This is one thing that I would say that this movie did better. Oh, and character relations between Chris Pratt and the lady. Nothing much to talk about. I'm just going to say that during a chaos scene when the relatives are reunited, I think that was more of just a reward. The ending, whether chemistry or not, they are going to, we'll just say that, okay, they'll just work towards it or build towards it off screen, and it doesn't matter. Not much to talk about there. Moving on. Visuals. Visuals work. Park is clean. We find out that we're on Island A. Park is working. Everything looks clean and new, and even a few... okay, maybe the sphere ball is the only futuristic thing. But, either way, yeah, everything is clean and efficient looking. And, of course, as a theme park of dinosaurs that is operational, it is updated compared to what it would have been in Jurassic Park. I am liking it. And dinosaurs. Well, not everything is CGI. No. They, okay, yes, they do still use the CGI stuff, but they also use animatronics. I am liking it. I've heard that they did CGI over the animatronics of some, just to get a realism effect on the actors, because, it'd be better for the actors to see what they're interacting with rather than imagining it. But not everything is CGI'd, even though that some of the animatronics were CGI'd over. Some of the animatronics do get to remain as animatronics without the CGI facelift. An example would be, of course, multiple scenes with the raptors, and a certain Brachiosaur Brontosaur scene with Chris Pratt and Claire. It is heartwarming. That is all you need to know. Watch! I'm not sure what else to say about this movie. I mean, really, I was hoping it would be above 2 and 3, if not on par with 1. But movie 4, in my opinion, is somewhere in the ballpark with 1. If not below. Honestly, this was a good movie. I don't know how else to recommend it. Some things may be a little distracting, such as the use of, excessive CGI or something, but it's not the worst thing, okay? I mean, look, there are worse movies, but this movie, it comes off good. I cannot speak for the people who saw the first Jurassic Park movie the first time that they saw it, but if I can say that at least for me, I can honestly say that maybe as a young adult, I probably got the same reaction as I probably would have gotten had I seen the first Jurassic Park. Even if you do put in the fact that I kind of already know of CGI realism stuff, then it was new, now it's a normal thing, so there's that problem, but still, nonetheless, I feel as though I still got the same reaction, okay? I'm not going to spoil anything about the climax. It goes one way and then another, and you don't expect this, you don't expect that. Some things that are subtle are actually kind of another thing later, but very little, but not necessarily big later. And what I will say about the climax is that, well, I'm going to say this. Service that had been rightfully done in the first inspired a song from the Nostalgia Critic, and in the third movie was replaced by another. This service is well-deserved and rightfully redeemed, and actually, if you pay attention, kind of spits over to that third movie replacement. It is rightfully something that is a climax that could have not been perhaps done any better for this movie. I will not spoil anything. If you want me to spoil and talk about it, please leave a comment below and I'll have maybe link a spoiler section sequel video to this video. In the meantime, I am Zinfoen. I will be reporting out, and please, go watch this movie! I implore you, which I don't even know what that means, but it sounds appropriate. Watch this movie. Go, okay? This was another episode of Analysis. Please, go!